Okay, guys, here's the story in a nutshell with the helicopters. Okay, this past Memorial Day weekend, they did the air show at Jones Beach, which they always do. That's Saturday and Sunday. One of the people driving the helicopters, or flying the helicopters, lived on my block. His parents still live here. And 2 blocks away from me is the airfield. We have 2 fire departments. One has an airfield, and we keep all the brush trucks in. So he decided, I guess he had permission to come this way and do whatever he was going to do. So he came down the block like a skill saw sideways at, I don't know, it was well under 100 feet, let me tell you. It was sick, if you ask me. So then he went around. Okay, he went down the whole block like that. Okay, freaked out a bunch of my neighbors. I mean, totally freaked out. Calling police, freaked out. Except for my neighbor across the street, who knew who the person was and knew what was going on. The rest of us didn't know, but like I said, he came over me on another main road. I had pulled in the driveway. I was half in the driveway when I got out of the car. I didn't even finish pulling in because everybody was out looking at what was going on. And he went around a couple of blocks, did some maneuvers over the fire department, flew over a couple more times, not as drastic as the first time, and then left. So maybe the whole thing went on for like 5 minutes or so. So it freaked out my neighbors to no end, like we were being invaded. My wife comes out. My wife was in the backyard. I had just pulled up. She comes out. Now we have her brother is a naval pilot. My niece's husband works on helicopters, so she sees the helicopter. Forget about the jets coming off the back of it. She comes out, she sees it, and she goes, "Wow, that's cool." With that, the neighbors flip, because the neighbors are acting like they're getting invaded. Plus, they already had the cops on the phone. So that didn't go over well. And I'm just standing there like, wow, this is the coolest crap I've ever seen. I'm never going to see this again. You know, I know it's not a foreign country coming down my block from my house to kill me. You know, common sense is there. But, yeah. So needless to say, something that was supposed to be harmless and fun, and I guess thank all his friends and neighbors. You know what I mean? He kept them in his mind through all this. You know what I mean? To come back. Turned into a big cluster. So, there's a lot more footage than I showed you guys. Most of it is with the camera down when he was out of sight. My neighbor's freaking out and all sorts of stuff. I wasn't going to put that on there. So, I told you guys I would come on and tell you what happened. That's pretty much what happened. To me, 2 days later, I'm still talking about it. I think it's the coolest thing that ever happened. And the people I tell don't get it when I tell them that he came down the block literally 100 feet off the ground, sideways. Literally, like a skill saw. I thought that was sick. I will admit, when he came over me, when I was going down the road, I didn't know he was there, never heard him. When he came over from the back of me, he was driving on the same road I was driving. And he was up about 150 feet tops. When he came over me, I thought both tires blew out in the Concord. They were hitting the wheel wells. The sound. Because it's no news chopper, you know what I mean? I never heard the sound before. And then when it went over me, it was like, holy God. It was like, the best way I could describe it is when you watched, what was it, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, when the UFO comes over the car in the front and they're looking up at it. That's the way it was. So, like I said, I got to the block just in time for the festivities. So I was less than a mile from the house when he crossed over me. So I thought it was cool. The black wagon is going back on the road this Monday. I'm hoping the first show I hit with it is on the 7th, which I guess is not this weekend, the following weekend. Actually, we're going to do a swap meet. But I'm bringing the wagon, and I got at least 35, 40 tires I got to get rid of. So we're just going to do that, and then from there, whatever's remaining, just bring them to the tire guy. and be done with them, get them out of my hair. So my wife's actually going to do the selling with my son. And the following weekend, the 13th, 14th, don't get the date wrong, it's one of those, the Saturday, S&K Speed's having their first show, and I'm going to bring the car there. So, parking lot holds like 10 cars, so I don't know where they're planning on putting these people, because I picture hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cars coming down to this. They've been in business since the 60s. So, there's going to be a lot of muscle down there, let me tell you. A lot. But, I don't know. So, those are my plans with the car. Between now and then, I just have to knock out one or two things in the car. The car's still not going to have glass. But I want to knock out the rear door panels. I got a couple pieces of trim to put on the car, and that's it. Wash it again. And we'll hold the windows off till later. So, I can't spend the time on that car right now. I got this. This is a more important project. And finishing up what we started around the house. So, did get a note on the Concord today. I walked out to the car, and there was a note hooked under the windshield, and I was like, oh God, somebody wants to buy it. But it was quite the opposite. It was a note from a guy saying he had an 84 Eagle, obviously wagon, 4-wheel drive. And he wanted to know if I wanted to buy it. He left his name and number. What I find funny is the guy works with me. But he's a new guy. He doesn't work in the shop. He's a new guy, so we'll see. We'll see what that's about. So that's it, guys. I'm calling it a night. Everybody have a good night. It's a beautiful night here. You guys can't see nothing, but yeah, it's just a couple little clouds, but it's beautiful. It's been beautiful. So.